Hey, welcome back to Vintage on Vintage. I'm Steve, and today I'm going to share with you my March pickups. You know, in February, I picked up quite a few cards, so I tried to pare it back a little bit in March. I wanted to send some cards into SGC, which I did, and they just got them yesterday. So I'm hoping in the next 3 weeks or so to have 2 or 3 grading videos out for you guys. I sent quite a few cards in. But I did get a chance to pick up some cards. So in March, I spent probably about $140 in total for these cards. Some of them I picked up at antique stores. One I picked up at a card shop in Minneapolis when I went to visit my sister-in-law over Easter. And a couple I picked up on Whatnot sales from a couple of our friends at the community. So let's jump in with the Whatnots first. So the first Whatnot sale, it was Graig, Midlife Cards. So Greg sent me a couple of these. There's a unsigned and a signed version. These are really cool, Greg. I really appreciate it. I will keep these with my other content creator cards that I have a collection going on. So fantastic to get that. Greg had a number of different groupings of cards, and I probably would have bought more from him had I not, but some of the pairings he had, I already owned some of the cards, so, but I still ended up picking up quite a few. So the first set is a beautiful Reggie Jackson pairing. There's 3 Reggie Jackson cards. Love this card. Look how cool that card is. Reggie All-Star card. That's just a good looking coloring on that card. Then the second card in that grouping is this beautiful 84 Donruss. I love the coloring on that. That's a really cool card. But here's the one, and this is the reason why I picked up this lot. It's this the Kellogg's 1982 Kellogg's card. You know, I remember as a kid in the early 70s grabbing Kellogg's cards. By the time the 80s had rolled around, I was getting ready to go to college, so I wasn't collecting them, but I've always loved them. And Greg had quite a few, and you're going to see as we move down this, that's kind of a theme on some of the cards I picked up from him. The next lot he sent out was a Pete Rose lot. It was a 2-card lot. Here's the first card, the 77 Record Breaker. Kind of a cool looking card of Pete Rose. You can never have enough Pete Rose in my opinion. And then this is the card that caught my eye on that lot. Look at this bad boy. I love these. I love this card. Big Pete Rose fan. So even though I already own this card, I couldn't pass for the price. So picked up that lot. The next lot I grabbed from Greg was this Johnny Bench lot. So you have this beautiful Johnny Bench card right here. And then there's another Johnny Bench right here. Both of those cards are really cool cards. But the reason I grabbed the lot one more time is the Kellogg's cards. Look at that. That is such a cool Johnny Bench Kellogg's card. So really excited to add that one along with the Reggie to the collection. And then Greg threw out an actual Kellogg's lot, and I grabbed it. So here are the cards I picked up, starting with this Fernando Valenzuela, which I love this card. As a Dodger fan, you know, this is just such a cool looking card. Fernando, I mean, man, he was it in the early 80s. Like this is a really cool card. So I was glad to pick that one up. There's also this beautiful Dave Parker. Look at the Cobra back in the early 80s. This was when, you know, he was on top of baseball, or, you know, back in those days. So, but this is a cool looking card of Dave Parker, a guy who I think should be in the Hall of Fame. Here's a beautiful Rock Reigns Kellogg's 3D Superstar card. Love that card too. Rock Reigns, Hall of Famer. Another Hall of Famer, Eddie Murray. Beautiful card. I love that card. And then the last card in this lot, which is one of the ones reason I wanted to grab it, this one kind of spoke to me, is the Gary Carter. I love that, the coloring on that. Those old Expo hats are just so cool. So picked up that one from Graig also. And then Graig finished, my last two purchases from him were football. So he threw out this beautiful 1961 George Blanda, and look at that card. Love that card. Beautiful card, in great shape. I love vintage football. And then the last card that I picked up on his whatnot is this beautiful 1970, I think it's 71, right? Larry Zonka. It's a great card. I'm a big fan of Zonka's. The back does have a little bit of an issue back here, which, you know, he shared when he posted the card, but I love this card. I think I got this card for like $2. It's a little over $2. So great pickup. So had a blast with Graig's Whatnot, and then right after Graig's Whatnot ended, our boy Dylan came on, right? And this was, as you know, I've purchased from Dylan a few times, and did it again on this one. So the first grouping I picked up from Dylan were these I don't know what you call them. I call them tall boys, but they're the 1970 baseball cards. There's a Johnny Bench. This one's, you know, it's got a crease on it, but it's still a really cool card. I have some football cards of these. These are really hard, by the way. There's a Carl Yastrzemski. These were really hard when you picked them up to keep in good condition because they were so big. And there really was no easy way to store them. But I just think they're cool. Picked them up from Dylan. And the last one in that pairing that I picked up from Dylan is this cool P. Rose card. So, you know, I kind of like them. You know, they're in fair shape. They're not in fantastic shape, but they're cool looking cards. So I was glad to grab those. And then I picked up this beautiful Brooks Robinson, 1973. Dylan, he's grading this as a 3. It's a beautiful looking card. Centering is really strong on this card, and the back centering is not bad. The front centering is fantastic. Might have a slight scratch right there, I think, is the reason he might have called it down, but I just think that's a beautiful card. Big Brooks Robinson fan. So I grabbed that one from Dylan. Then he threw up this beauty, and I couldn't pass on it. It's the 75 strikeout leaders with Nolan Ryan and Steve Carlton, and it just didn't get any better than these two in the early 70s. And look at the back centering on this thing. Gorgeous card. Dylan thinks this would grade it about a 6.5. Sorry about that. I would have to agree with Dylan. I think that's a really cool looking card. So grab that card. And then the last card from Dylan, and this one I was really excited about. I grabbed this 1971 Don Sutton card. And, you know, one of the reasons I really wanted to grab this thing because it was in a Dylan slab. So, and look at these slabs. Dylan, his slabs are really cool looking. So he thinks this would grade a 4. He gave it a centering of 92. There's the back of the card. There's Dylan's logo. I think that takes you to his channel, but I wanted to make sure that I'm a big fan of the 71s, but I wanted to make sure that I had a Dylan card case in the collection, and I do. So this is really cool, really cool. And then Dylan threw this in, by the way, with his cards that he sent. He threw in the 1989 Topps baseball pack. So maybe when I'm done with the rest of these cards, who knows? Maybe we'll just break this open and see what's in here. I was we were up in Michigan, and my wife and I decided to take a drive, and she let me stop at 3 or 4 antique stores and look for some cards, and I picked up some beauties. So First one I picked up, this is 1979 Paul Molitor, and this is a beautiful card. This is probably my favorite Molitor card. He's a really underrated ball player and a great hitter, one of the better right-handed hitters that I remember seeing. But this one's really well centered, especially for a 79. Did I say 89 earlier? It's a 79, of course. Second year Molitor. This one might get graded because it's a pretty sharp looking card. The next card I saw was this beautiful 1970 Bobby Mercer card. And this card, you know, Mercer was a good ball player. You know, he was a star back in the day. He's not a Hall of Famer, but just look at this card. It's almost too good to pass on. I mean, this card's 53 years old, and it's centered really well, and the corners are sharp. The back is pretty strong. So anytime I see a card that's in this good a condition and it's a player, you know, like a Mercer who was a star in his day, I'm going to grab it. So I picked up that Bobby Mercer really cheap. You all know how much I'm a Ram fan, and Deacon Jones, he's one of the best that ever played the game. And here's a 1970 Deacon Jones, and this one's in really good shape. Might have a slight little mark up here, but you know, the card is beautiful. It's centered well. So this one was, I think it was like $5. So grab this Deacon Jones card. And then the last card I picked up at the antique store is a League Leader card. You know, I love League Leader cards, especially ones that have my favorite player, Henry Aaron, on them. And this one with McCovey and Aaron and Lee May is just a beautiful, beautiful card. So I'm always going to grab a League Leader. I think for those who don't collect the League Leaders, I think you're missing the boat, man. It's a great way to get Hall of Fame ball players with on the cheap. And then the cool thing too is, you know, you flip it over and you can see what everybody did that year, right? That McCovey led the league with 45 home runs and Aaron was right behind him with 44. Just to me, it's a really cool thing. So I love those. And then I was in Minneapolis visiting my sister-in-law, and I went to a few card stores. And, you know, I normally have a lot of luck there, but I didn't see too much that I like until the last store. And I found another beautiful League Leaders card. So look at this. It's a 1963. It's a 64 card, 63 National League Leaders. And it's got 4 Hall of Famers on it. It's got Aaron, McCovey, Mays, and Cepeda. So how cool is that card? And, you know, if you flip it over, it shows the home runs on this side, grand slams on that side. So this was a super sweet card. And, you know, when I looked at it, it took me a second, but then I realized, you know, Aaron led the league in home runs, or actually, I think they tied. Yeah, Aaron and McCovey actually tied for the home run lead with 44 each. But then you had Mays and Cepeda. So the Giants had 3 of the top 4 home run hitters in the league that year. And then, if you go on look on the back, they also had a couple other players like Felipe Alou, and I think he finished Felipe Alou and then Bailey, a gentleman by the name of Bailey. They were in the top 15, so they had 5 of the top 15 home run leaders that year. So they were a pretty powerful offensive team, but they only finished 3rd in the National League. They still finished 11 games behind the Dodgers that year, who had a fantastic pitching staff and won the championship with pitching. But beautiful card. I love this card, and you know, it's got Henry Aaron on it too, so, and 4 Hall of Famers. So that was it. That was my March cards that I picked up. You know, nothing over the top, but some really nice pickups. How about, while we close this out, how about if I open up this 1989 pack of cards that Dylan gave me with the gum, by the way. The gum it's stuck to somebody. The gum is stuck to Sandy Alomar. That's some really bad looking gum there, but let's see what we got. So the first card, there's a Keith Atherton. There's a Mike Boddicker. Boddicker was a good pitcher back in the day. He won 20 games. Here's an Angels leader. That's kind of cool card right there. I think, is that Chili Davis? Who is that? Not sure who that was. Might have been Chili Davis. Oh, look at this. Beautiful John Schmaltz card. So that's a nice looking card. Beautiful John Schmaltz card. Ozzie Guillen, who went on to lead the same team he was playing for at the time, the White Sox, to a World Series championship. Darryl Boston, pretty good ball player back in the day. Larry Sheets, he was a good hitter. He was a 30 home run hitter. He hit 30 home runs, drove in 94 runs one year. So that's pretty good year there. Here's a cool Tony La Russa. Al Newman. Dave Stieb. This guy was a stud. This guy was a stud pitcher for a number of years. Won 17, 18 games, quite a bit. He was a really, really good pitcher. Cool looking card there. They're sticking together a little. Joe Bover. Steve Lake. Oh, look at this. A little Oil Can Boyd. Dennis Oil Can Boyd. He was a character. And let's finish it off with some Hojo. Howard Johnson, really good ball player. So cool stuff. Thank you, Dylan. That was a lot of fun. I always like ripping up some packs of cards. That was a lot of fun. So there you have it. Those are my March pickups. I should have some SGC returns coming back in the next few weeks. So, but until then, stay safe, keep collecting. We'll talk soon. Thanks for watching.